Hi folks, it's Dion here from Sky Analytics. I want to talk about something that keeps coming up more and more in conversations around flight data monitoring, and that's this idea that FDM software itself is certified. You'll sometimes hear statements like, this FDM software is certified, or we need certified FDM software. And while that sounds reasonable on the surface, it's actually not how FDM works from a regulatory standpoint. In reality, it's not the software that is certified, but rather it's the FDM program as a whole that is accepted or approved by the authority. If we look at how regulators like EASA or the FAA approach FDM, they're very clear on this point. They don't certify a piece of software in isolation. They assess whether an operator has an effective, properly implemented FDM program. Now that program includes things like people, processes, governance, data handling, and yes, software. But software is only one component. So when we talk about an FDM program being approved or accepted, we're talking about the entire system working together, not a tool sitting in a server room somewhere. If we take EASA as an example, their guidance on flight data monitoring focuses on outcomes and structure, not on endorsing specific tools. EASA expects operators to demonstrate things like clearly defined safety objectives, a documented FDM policy, defined roles and responsibilities, a feedback loop into the safety management system, data protection and just culture principles, and a robust event detection and analysis process. But nowhere does EASA say, use this software, or this software must be certified. Instead, the authority looks at whether the program is effective, whether it actually identifies risk, and whether it leads to safety improvement. The FAA takes a similar approach, even though their FOCO and FDM programs are voluntary in nature. But again, the emphasis is on the program framework, not the tooling. The FAA talks extensively about data governance, event validation and review, pilot trust and confidentiality, oversight committees, and documented procedures. Software enables all of this, but it does not replace it. You can have the most sophisticated software in the world and still have a non-compliant or ineffective FDM program if your surrounding processes are weak. So, where does FDM software actually fit into all of this? FDM software is an enabler. It supports the program, but it does not define it. Good FDM software should make it easier for you to do things like detect meaningful events or exceedances, review flights efficiently, maintain traceability, generate safety outputs, and effectively support your SMS system and processes. But it still needs to sit inside a properly designed program that meets regulatory expectations. At Sky Analytics, we're very careful about how we talk about our own Sky Analyst FDM software for exactly this reason. We don't claim that Sky Analyst is certified because that's not how FDM works. What we can say, however, very confidently, is that Sky Analyst is designed specifically to support FDM programs that meet, and in most cases, exceed global regulatory requirements such as EASA. For example, Sky Analyst FDM includes a very advanced event detection engine, the ability to measure data from all flights, not just those with exceedances, advanced investigation tools allowing for in-depth analysis of individual flights, advanced statistical tools supporting analysis of trending data, tight integration between FDM and SMS, especially when combined with Sky Analyst SMS, and strong data governance and access controls. These are exactly the areas regulators care about when they review an FDM program. So in practice, what authorities approve is your program, not ours. They look at how you are using the tools, how your analysts are trained, how findings flow into your SMS, and how your risks are actually managed. Our role is to make that process as robust, transparent, and defensible as possible. So the key takeaway here is this. If someone tells you that an FDM software package is certified, that's a misunderstanding of how FDM oversight works. What matters is whether the entire FDM program meets regulatory expectations and whether the software you choose genuinely supports that. That's the lens we designed Sky Analyst through, and it's the lens regulators use when they assess your operation. Now, if you have any questions on FDM program approval, please feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, fly safe.